All right, people, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to another one here on the coach's desk. We appreciate you being here. In this video, we'll be talking about something that has been plaguing our athletes over the years. And for some reason, this story is about to, you know, move to a different level, especially from the standpoint of former therapist of Usain Bolt. Yeah. Everall Edwards, one of the leading therapist on the island, and he made some revelation, and it is very important that this thing is actually looked into before it gets to a point where the athletes are actually in a spot where there will be no longer Jamaican athletes being in a situation where we can dominate. You understand? And we really want to look and delve into this situation at the moment. So it was an interview that Everall did. We call him Eddie. You know what I mean? He's a former TC Foster College student, and he was into teaching and coaching, and until he segued into being a therapist, working with Usain Bolt. He has had an outstanding career. I think currently he's working with Fred Curley. Fred Curley recruit him, and he has worked with several top tier athletes. He's one that doesn't really like the limelight. But he has a very important practice on the island, and what he does is very critical to the development of athletes and athletics to a greater extent. I've had athletes gone there before to at his recovery, fast recovery practice, which is very, very um, a good practice that he has set up there in Kingston. So big up to Eddie. Um, this is very interesting, and I'm going to read the article that this information came out of. Hell is the word noted sports therapist Everall Eddie Edwards used to describe the troubling injury situation that many of our junior athletes, track and field athletes, have been facing over the years. And he believes it will only get worse if nothing is done to protect the youngsters. So that is the first thing. He believes that the youngsters are not being protected. I mean, we have said it over the years. Um, it's all in the name of winning champs. And when these old boys pump their finances into the program, the different programs, they are looking for the returns, the winning champs, the getting top athletes out there and such like. So he said though, if it is not done, nothing is done about it, then there's gonna be some situation where the athletes are going to be in trouble. Things are gonna get worse where injuries are concerned. And it was highlighted last year too, at the Olympic Games. Even some clubs, we have a plethora of athletes who got injured, and it is said that even Stephen Francis himself said it. There are a lot of clubs in Jamaica don't have the um, tools necessary to really manage the athlete's injuries, and it is troubling. It is troubling. Now, Edwards, as I said before, he has worked with the fastest man alive, Usain Bolt. He currently operates a fast recovery human Tekar treatment center in Kingston, where he helps in treatment and rehabilitation of persons with injuries. And this is not only for track and field injuries, sports injury, motor vehicle injury, any injury of any sort. Eddie actually, his staff down there work with. So it is a very good center. If you have any concerns, arthritis and those stuff, you can always go there, and you're going to be treated accordingly. Now, Eddie has been a part of Jamaica's technical staff for several major events, including the Olympics and the World Championship, and also treated the likes of Asafa Powell, Chris Gale, Andre Russell. Yes, he worked with a plethora of those athletes. Edwards paints a grim picture of what he described as a gross overworking of some of the island's young athletes caught on the wrong side of pursuit of glory. When you hear that? So it's all in the name of winning champs. It's all about winning at all cost, right? And it it is interesting for it to be coming from someone like this, because he's the one who has to do the recovery of several of these athletes. Yeah, and he recognized that. I mean, I don't want to get into some of these stories that I know, but I'm just gonna consider this. Now, Eddie indicated that the training methods being conducted by some high school coaches are destroying the youth. That is very, very, very telling. That is very, very telling that these training methodologies that the coaches are using are destroying the youth. Interesting. He said most of the workout that some of these kids that come to his office are doing, he cannot believe it. When they show evidence, all he can say is madness. I remember this man is also trained as a um I would say coach as well, so he knows a lot of these things. Yeah. So he's not just from a therapist standpoint, he is actually speaking. Now, he said, how can you have 13, 14, and 15-year-old kids run 12 300 meters? Wow, 12? That is a whole lot. That's more than 3,000 meters. Yeah, man, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of meters. 12 300. Whoa, 2,200 meters in training. That's madness. You have kids training from Monday to Sunday. Yo. So that's 7 days essentially, he's saying. Now, Edwards is disheartened by the huge number of injured student athletes that he treats on a regular basis. Says some coaches ignore the athlete's standard of living when preparing their programs, and that is very critical because some of these kids don't eat. Some of these kids don't eat. And when them come to training, we are expecting them to, give the best, the 100%. And if them don't have the finances to get lunch, training is gonna be, ooh. These kids are students first, so they have to get up early in the morning. Some eat breakfast, some don't. They have to go to class. They have to go upstairs. Some of them don't eat properly or have enough fluids. Then they go to training, running all those 300 meters and stuff. Wow, that is very, very, very sad. Yeah. On a professional level, it's easier because these athletes training home, and if they need to run some errands. So the lifestyle of, especially some of them that travels on public transportation, those things should be taken into consideration. But again, it's all in the name of winning champs. It's all in the name of winning champs. He continued by saying that then they go back home. Some don't eat properly because they don't understand what it takes to build back muscles and tissues when they are damaged. They have to do homework, go to bed at 11 p.m., get 5 hours sleep, and get up back at 6 a.m. to go train. And some train twice per day. Yeah, man, some of the schools. I know a lot of coaches are not going to be so much fond of this information that is going to be going out there, especially from the therapist. A lot of them won't, right? But some of these athletes are running close to what the professionals are doing while still being a student. It's very stressing on them. Eddie's saying. So, I mean, people, I want to give on the thoughts in the chat, because this is very, 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 very damning. Seeing? Grim picture, as they said that Eddie is highlighting where the athletes are concerned. He says that some of the damage that his student athletes clients face leaves him distraught. One morning, a female patient from a prominent high school came to my office and said she got 12 300 meters to run, and the prominent senior coach was at my office at the time and said that this could not be true because he coaches professionals and most they would get is 5 versus 12. Shaja. A 14-year-old told me he got 2,200 meters. That's too much. Indicate Edwards. Wow. Yo, people, this is serious, you know. This is very, very, very serious. And these are things that the playing field need to be leveled, because when you overwork the athletes, it can be damning to their future, especially if they want to go on. Me, I look into myself. But 12,300, 2,200, no, so I not give them something there. Parents come to my office and their child is just shaking. They can't sleep in their beds because they're tossing and turning. Their child wets their bed. That's how serious it is out here. No, let me just have to read it. I'm not give no insight because this is very serious. And this is where it gets more interesting, because Eddie said for 7 years he has tried to alert the J3s, which is the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, of the situation after working with the team at the World Under 20 Championship. But he says he was ignored. Probably some of these persons are aligned to some of these institutions, you know. You get what I say? And please bear in mind that it's not only the boys' schools that are facing these circumstances. Girls' schools are facing these circumstances as well. The situation, he believes, is driven by the primary objective of most coaches at the secondary level: success at the high school championship. And remember, I said that earlier, I know it is winning at all costs that is allowing. Because when you speak to some of these coaches, they say they are paid to win championship. That's what they're paid to do. So you can't tell them how to administer their program in order to win the championship. So it's not about development, it's about winning a championship. And that is crucial. That is sad. Seeing? Very sad. I mean, now take myself outside, people. Remember, but me I tell you no, me no give no 12 300 and 20 200. That is madness. You see me I say? Now the therapist says, um a coach is at a high school for his salary. Now, the same thing we just said. The school needs performance. So the coach will do whatever he needs to do to get the performance. If a man wants 30 points in class 2 and 60 points in class 3 to win champs, he be pretty much a man of business, a man go off fight. And it's a reality. It's about getting those points to win champs. They're not thinking about the best interest of the athletes. Now, he went on to say, in addition to trying to bring the issue to the J3s, he also offered to help in raising awareness and education among coaches, efforts that have been largely ignored. And that is something that is critical, because if someone who is working with these athletes are stating and he's stipulating that the athletes are being overworked and some of these injuries that they're having can be career threatening, can push them to the limit when they should not be at the limit at the age they are. So he believes that him being ignored is sad on the part of the J3s. Now, to ensure a smooth transition to the senior level, Edward is proposing that the J3 invest in at least 100 junior athletes island wide and take care of their most pressing expenses while monitoring their training and preparation. And again, sometimes everything is left up to the coaches. And then when things get boomy, that's when the J3s will come in and trying to align themselves to the athlete. You get what I'm saying? But this is very critical. I've heard several coaches talk about the J3s, investing in some of these athletes for real. I've heard it. There have been discussion surrounding it, and people really you have some coaches listening up. This is not just um a situation where all coaches do this, people. And let me just put that in. Not all the coaches do situations like these, right? This is a situation where some of the coaches, some of the top schools, the prominent schools, they do all out. You have some schools, they train 2 times per day. Worse if these schools have boarding facilities. You have to work in the morning, go school, evening again, back at it. So it's not for everyone. You get what I said? Now there are 3 counties. Seeing? Now what he's emphasizing is that we could set up areas where these athletes can go and make sure nutrition is taken care of. You can have physiotherapists and doctors in these 3 counties that are responsible for the juniors. So you know if you get injured, you can go to that specific doctor and physiotherapist, and you don't need to pay because JTRs will already take care of that. They can go to Puma and say, we have 100 athletes in our junior program that we are taking care of. So they send sneakers, training gear, bags, whatever, to ensure that these athletes are taken care of. Sometimes the sneakers are the track shoes that they're running in, they are worn out. And sometimes the shock on the body and the muscle is affected through these worn out sneakers. So a whole lot of things come together to cause some of these things. He also believes involving the likes of world class coaches like Glenn Mills and Stephen Francis would benefit the athletes as far as consultation is concerned. Them normally not listen to them man there. Now calling a meeting with the high school coaches and tell them these are the number of meets you can run, monitor their training, and maybe once or twice a month meet at GC Foster College or Jamaica College and have them train together. And the individual coaches can come, and then the senior coaches like Mills and Francis can also come to keep an eye on what's going on, give their advice, have seminars, and so on. So these are some of the things that Eddie is proposing should go to the fore so that things can change. He believes that the J3 needs to intervene as soon as possible before the situation worsens. Some of the egos of these coaches making wrong decisions to win at all costs is costing the athletes and the country. We are going down a bad path, so we need to address that. We need to have some seminars with the coaches, let them know how the body functions, and hopefully they take heed. And I can tell you, sometimes some of the coaches are well trained. Yeah, man, some of them are well trained, but sometimes they bypass the training in order to maximize again the points. J Trace gonna need to step in to protect the athletes. What are you doing? And quite frankly, some of the coaches need to just do what they need to do. Do the right thing. I mean, some of the coaches need recognition, so they do what they need to do. Get a one athlete where I star up the place, so to speak, and it is pretty much highlighting what they are doing as a coach. But at the end of the day, are we thinking long term or are we thinking short term? Because short term effect, boom, you win a double at champs. You might the top three, the top five, but at the end of the day, what is the future of this athlete? Seeing what is the future of this athlete? There is something that is called detraining syndrome. That is where these athletes go through rigors of work, intense workout at a tender age. When they reach the senior level and we're not seeing the transition, we wonder why. It is because of that very said fact, detraining syndrome. Because they would have gone through all they would have gone through already, lifting heavy weights, maximizing their weight, doing 10, 12, 300, 20, 200. So the pressure would have already hit. the central nervous system, and that would have been deteriorating already. When them reach a senior and you turn up the pressure again, especially with the weight, you increase volume and stuff like that, they them really can't manage it. So it is something that needs to be done where this is concerned. Seeing, we as coaches need to put different measures. It's not about only winning champs. People want to beat their chest that they allow an athlete to do this, an athlete to jump high, an athlete to jump far, an athlete to run fast. People want to do that. But at the end of the day, we have seen it. A plethora of champ stars are out in the wilderness. A plethora of champ stars are nowhere to be found because they would have already tapped into the central nervous system from a tender age. What say you, chat? Drop a comment in the comment section and let me hear what you are think. Do you agree with um this notion from the therapist? Is it a grim, dark future that is out there for Jamaica? If we want to maintain being one of the top countries in athletics, we have to do the right thing. Because remember when West Indies was, and every time I talk about that, West Indies cricket was on and on and on and dominating. What did they do to preserve that dominance? What are we doing as coaches, administrators, as parents? What are we doing? Supporters of these athletes, make the right choice. I think this is very, very important. Until next time, people, that is all I'm saying. I'm out.